Hey guys, welcome to Victory TV with Charlette. I'm your host. I'm super excited, as always, to be with you guys another Sunday. So I know you could have been anywhere else, but you are here with us to hear someone share how they are impacting someone else's life, either from being an author, entrepreneur, a business owner, a community service leader, someone just saying, hey, my story matters and I'm going to share with others so they can get a victory story in their life as well. So the lady that we're going to be introducing this evening, she is a coach. She's a divorce coach. She is an author. She's a servant leader, sharing with others how to actually overcome from those trials of a divorce. So, with that being said, I'm gonna introduce to you guys Miss Coach Shaletha Marshall. Hello.
Hello, how are you doing on tonight?
I am doing great. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here and saying yes to being here. Again, I love the fact that people come and share their victorious story, being bold enough to share their story. So, thank you for coming on to share.
Oh, I'm so excited to be here.
Okay, so we're just gonna hop right in. You're a divorce coach, so um, okay, I don't know exactly how that happened for you. Meaning you were married, and of course you got a divorce. So, what was that day like when you found out that you was gonna be getting a divorce?
Um, when I found that I was getting a divorce, it was actually a surprise to me. Months before my husband ended up leaving, he just packed up and left and didn't say anything. So it had been, I think, like maybe 6 months. And then I received a phone call from his lawyer stating that he filed for a divorce. So I was just shocked, like, well, wow, where did this come from? We haven't even talked about anything. The last that I had that he mentioned was that he just needed time to figure everything out. So I was in complete shock when I found out that he filed for a divorce.
Wow, I mean, I can just imagine. And then you didn't see it coming at all. Was there any arguments, or it was just nothing?
No, because like I said, he was living on his own, so we were still in communication because we have a child together. So, like I said, he just said that he needed time to figure things out. So I was like, okay, and I just basically left it in his hands because, like I said, he's the one that moved out. So he's the one that was basically making all the decisions without my input. So I didn't have anything to say.
So was he still seeing his child, or?
Yes, he was still keeping her, whenever he felt like it.
Okay, okay. Yeah, because I'm like, how did that work? You just up and leave everybody. Because
Yeah,
you're not just leaving you leaving your seed as
right.
well.
Right. And that was one thing that I tried to explain. Like, you didn't just leave me, you left her too. But he kept trying to separate it and say, well, no, I left you, da da da. But in her head, you left her too because you're not there and you didn't say anything. So what is the child supposed to think?
So that transition for you, okay, you're got the papers and the process happened. And so how was that transition like for you?
It was very hard because we had a routine, and at that time I was going to work at 6 in the morning. So of course I had to leave really early, and by him moving out, who was supposed to take my daughter to school while I still went to work? So that was something that we had to figure out and work out. And he would just come over when it was time for me to go to work, then stay and take her to school. Then we just had that kind of routine. Then I guess it got to the point where he didn't want to do it anymore. So I ended up talking to one of my family members, and they were able to step in and help me until she finished school. So she would come over in the mornings while I went to work and watch her and take her to school for me. But the transition was definitely hard because it kind of forced me to become a single mother. Like I said, we didn't have any discussions. I was just everything he said I was just rolling with. So if he said he was gonna do this, okay. for me, I just didn't want to cause no arguments or anything like that. So I just had to make it work somehow. And by the grace of God, it all did work out until, she was able to finish school and then go stay with her grandparents for the summer. Because other than that, I didn't know what to do.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I know that do you think that I know I looked at one of your videos, and
Mhm.
so a few of them actually. Do you
Oh,
think some things that you brought on could have caused him to just up and leave? I know you mentioned that you had daddy issues, or your daddy wasn't there, and it brought on fear, rejection, and that could have been in the back of your mind. Do you think you brought some of that stuff on, or?
yes, I can say I definitely played a role in the issues that we had. I don't say I played a role in the divorce because, like I said, I don't know why he left or why he divorced me. I still, I never received any feedback or clarifications on that. So I could just only go off what, the experiences that I had and what happened. And so I could say, um, leading up to the time he left, I know the abandonment and fear definitely played a role because I stayed in the marriage even though we were like living in separate bedrooms. Like we were still communicating and living as a family, but we were in separate bedrooms. So for me, I was just like, oh well, I didn't know my father. I didn't grow up with my father, so I didn't want to take my daughter from him because I didn't know how that would affect her because all she knew was the three of us, her whole life. At that time, she was 4. So for 4 years, all she knew was the three of us. So that definitely played a role in me staying longer than I probably should have. But then once I got into communion with God and just seeking Him for what it was that He wanted me to do, I realized that I was supposed to stay in the marriage and not leave. So I did do my part by just staying and trying to, make it work and just continue to act as the wife.
Awesome. I like how you shared that. Like you got in communion with God, and you found that, hey, I did do my part. I did what I thought was best and in His will. So talk about that healing process with God, that journey with Him after the divorce.
The journey with God was definitely hard um, because initially I was mad, I was angry, um, and I wanted to stay mad and angry for what he did because eventually my daughter started acting out. I guess because not understanding what was happening or maybe her emotions. I'm really not sure because she didn't really articulate, how she was feeling. But um, so I did end up in a depression. I had to get put on medication. So I went to the doctor because I was just like, something is not right. I was not my normal self as I would have been. And I got put on depression medication. And then that's when God really started dealing with me about that because he was just like, what are you doing? Why are you sitting here crying over this person that's not even thinking about you? Like, this is what it is. You have to get yourself together. You have a child and just focus on that. And then that's when I realized, like, okay, I can't just sit here and just be mad or depressed day in, day out. Like, I still had to go to work. Um, I still had to pay bills and I still had to be there for my daughter. So when I allowed God to just start dealing with me, that's when he just started peeling back the layers, like, showing me the things that I did wrong and showing me how I made my marriage an idol, not realizing that I did, but I ended up um just becoming like a people pleaser and I just wanted to, not cause any arguments or fights or anything like that. So I always just did whatever, someone said, or I just went along with whatever they wanted me to do. And not saying that that's not okay. You can, but you have to make sure that you are doing those things that you want to do instead of just always putting your feelings and your emotions on the back burner just to make the other person happy. So at the end, I'm glad that I actually let God, um, you know, start to heal me and work on me, because through that, I became a whole new person. Like I said, He began to peel back layers. I started to lose weight. I just started working on myself, and I just started to really learn what it was to love myself, because one thing that God showed me was, how can I expect someone to love me when I didn't even love myself? And that's something that I realized that we're not taught as we're growing up. We're taught like, hey, get married, do this, go to school, all these different things, but we're not taught to like live in your singleness, seek God for what it is that He has for your life, and then go from that, because some people are maybe not meant to get married, but we won't know if we won't ask God those questions. So even for me, God even told me like I didn't seek Him about the marriage. Like once He proposed, I was just happy that somebody proposed and wanted to be with me, and I just went along with it and not seeking God for that clarification. And so that's why I'm here today.
It makes totally sense. And when you said, give us an example how you made your marriage as an idol. That's my first time hearing it put that way.
Yeah.
'Cause I can see how we can do things, but then okay, let's talk about the marriage.
Yeah. So I believe how I made it an idol was I was putting Him first. In the Bible, we're supposed to put God first. But I always would ask Him things, and if things wasn't, if He didn't say the things that I wanted to hear, or like it was just between Him and I never went to God and asked Him, okay, well, what should I do? How should I say this? How should I communicate with Him? It was kind of like I just took God out of the equation, and it was just Him and I. And so that's what I believe that God was saying, how I made the marriage an idol. Because, it's supposed to be the three of us, Him, the husband, then the wife. And it was just Him and not God in the middle.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome. I think a lot of us probably do that at some
Yeah.
point of another. Then, oh, okay, hold up. I need to consult God with
Yeah.
this. Yeah, so I can understand how that could possibly happen. And
Mhm.
so now you are, like you said, you're a whole new person. You're an author. You have journals. You guys, she has many journals. She has one that she's actually promoting now and sharing with everyone. She's an author and she's speaking and sharing her story and actually healing a lot of women. So, share the journal that you're promoting now, and tell us about it.
Okay, so I just released a book, 30 Days to Self Love. And this book came about, like I said earlier, one, God telling me that I didn't love myself. I didn't know how to love myself. And I didn't know how to receive love. And that's one thing that He taught me through my process and my healing journey, is how to receive love from Him. Because He's the one that first loved us. It states in the Bible that He loved us first, that He even knew us before we were born. So it's like once we get that into our mind, then we can really understand what love is and what true love is. And another thing that God showed me too, through my healing process, was He's going to love me unconditionally, with my flaws, with my mouth, with my attitude, all those things. His love stays the same, where versus man, their love is conditional. So they can love you one day and then hate you tomorrow, and then bring up all your old stuff from back in the day that's not even relevant and use it against you. And that's one thing that He showed me, like He would never turn His back on me. He would, never do those evil things to me that, people tend to do. So that was something that I learned during my self discovery as well. But I wrote the 30 Days to Self Love because I challenged myself for 30 days to just give myself to God and what it was that He wanted me to do. I took Shalitha out the equation. There was no TV watching, no hanging out, whatever. Like I fasted and I actually gave God that time, and that's when He birthed this book. So those were things that I was doing. I was started to love myself, rediscovering myself, figuring out who I was. I started to work out. Um, I changed the way that I ate, and just all those different types of things. Just saying affirmations every day, just helping myself to become a better person. And I just wrote all those things down, and here we are today with a whole book, 30 Days to Self Love.
Awesome. You know what? That sounds so beautiful. Just spending time with God, that is a beautiful thing. And I don't know a lot of people if they have ever just experienced it. And just from when you said that, I just want to share the other night I had a moment with God, and He said we can feel the love. Like
Yes.
we could enter a room. Like it was like I'm meditating and like feel the love in this room, like
Mm-hmm.
feel the love in a room. Who would think something like that? So,
Yeah.
anyways, I know that if you did it for 30 days, that was a beautiful, beautiful thing for you. So, would you suggest others doing the same thing as you? Do you suggest that in the book as far as fasting and getting that connection with God?
Oh yes, of course. I do talk about those things in the book. It's just I have it worded as practical steps to love yourself, so that way it's not me telling you what to do. I'm just making a suggestion, and like I said, those are the things that I did and that helped me through my self love journey. So I just wanted to be able to share that with others because a lot of women that I talk to, they don't even know like where to begin, how to start, what does self love, self care look like? So, in the book, it's just a guide. Like every day is something different. It's kind of like homework in a sense. It's giving you something to do as the 30 days goes on, so that way you can take note and see, where you've come from day one. Like you should come out a different person. You should come out happier, or you should come out what first loving yourself. Like we're not taught to date ourselves, to be by ourselves. It's okay to be by yourself, and that's something that I didn't know during the time when I met my ex-husband. I had never been single. I've always had a boyfriend. So that's how I ended up in that situation. I didn't sit in my singleness. I didn't seek God on what it was that I was supposed to do during that time. But instead, I went from relationship to relationship to relationship. So just spending time with yourself, learning yourself, dating yourself. Dating yourself can be so easy and simple. It's not even about going out or spending money. There's times where I just go out and drive around, or I may go drive to the next city and walk around through like the plaza. I actually did that today. I got off work early and I just spent time with myself. Like sometimes I take off work, even if it's just to sit here, I may sit here and read a book. Like just doing those things that you enjoy and that make you happy. And it's not hard. It doesn't have to be hard. We make stuff so hard. And once you, especially if you write those things down, you realize, like, man, I could do this. This was so easy. So just taking that time to just be with yourself. And like I said, rediscovering yourself and who it is that you want to be in this next season of life.
Yeah, that is good. Spending time with yourself, dating yourself, loving yourself, and just even knowing how. So when that next person come in, you'll know
Mhm.
what you like.
Yeah,
You know what you like to do, and then too, y'all don't have to be up under each other all the time.
right.
That space is there, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It matters. So, you had said, I guess, what would your advice be to that individual who's been in this place like, okay, I don't know how to date myself, but you know, I want to be, I call my friend, I've experienced a lot of people saying, hey, I need someone to work out with me, or I need somebody to do this, but they never do anything because they don't have
Right.
that person. And I know with your business, you made experience that. What would you tell that person?
Uh, I was that same way. Like I never went out to eat by myself because I felt that was so weird to just sit at a table by yourself. But for me, I find it important to have accountability. If you have someone who you can trust and that's really there for you and that's going to support the journey that you on, they will hold you accountable. Like I have my one friend, she challenges me to go out to eat and sit in a restaurant, not just do a takeout order, but to sit. And then I have to take her a picture of me in the restaurant and send it to her. So just having those type of things, will help you and help you come out your shell. So like I said, today I spent the whole day out with myself. And it wasn't even nothing like I didn't even think twice about it. I just enjoyed it. I was in a good space and I actually had fun. I just did the things that I like to do without having um anybody to worry about or to tell me what to do or not to do or say, oh, you're doing too much or, just putting that negativity around you. But just if you need to have accountability partner, get one. If you need to set up reminders on your phone, do a reminder and just say, hey, go take a walk right quick or, whatever it is that you want to do, set that reminder so that you can actually stop and give yourself that time that you need.
That's good. I love it. I love it. So you are in the healing business too. I know that you healing women from your story. I can just again the boldness of it because it's kind of like we're putting our business out there, but hey, we're freeing people, and so that's
Yeah.
why I wanted to reach out to you. I am a divorce, but I haven't talked about it like publicly, so I let other
Mhm.
people do it, right? That can share and they are professional with it. And so, what strategy that you want to share? Because you do have a master class, you can talk about that. And what strategy would you share with someone that is needing to heal from their divorce?
The first thing I would say is get in alignment with God. For me, that's the number one thing, number one agenda, priority, however you want to say it. You have to get into communication with God because He's the only one that can guide you and give you the steps on what to do or what that healing journey actually looks like for you. So everybody's story is going to be different. I can't say specifically, oh, do X, Y, Z because it's what I've done. I can only guide you and help you because you may experience something totally different. You may not need to heal. I've encountered women that they might not didn't like their husband, whatever. Like they have no ill feelings and they can just move on. So you might not need to heal. You may just need to do something different, like get your finances in order or work on your credit. And that's some of the things that we do talk about in my master class, how to survive the workday during a divorce, how to help your kids cope with the divorce, getting your finances in order through divorce, and healing and forgiving your spouse during the divorce. So those are important things to do during that process.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So everyone may not need to heal, but
Right.
there's some things that you can be working on, still working on yourself for the next person you choose to partner with, I think the journey is amazing. I see you said you had experienced weight loss,
Yeah.
and that's you on the back of that picture, the background, so I can see the difference. And so
Yes.
yeah, it's a beautiful thing. And so,
Thank you.
what would you encourage someone before we get out of here? What would you how would you encourage someone that's still in a relationship that is they feel like it's going down the pipeline? And how would you encourage them on their in while they still there in their marriage right now? How would you encourage them?
I would just say again, pray and ask God what it is that you're supposed to be doing. Because one thing that I did learn during that process was I can't pray and ask God to change him, tell him what to do, da da da. That's just not gonna work. But seeking God what it is that you are supposed to do in that moment, and He will tell you. I've met women that God has told them to leave. That wasn't my story. He told me to stay and just do everything that I was to do as the wife. But you have to seek him first so that way you don't make any mistakes or mess up in the plans that He has already laid out for your life. So just seek God and pray, and ask Him to help change you and change your mind, because even though it may look like that it's over or things are going downhill, God still can restore that marriage if that's the purpose and plan that He has for y'all's relationship. So you have to seek Him on what it is that you are supposed to do. And another thing that I like to tell women, don't be ashamed. Your story is your story. You know, whatever is happening, you're going through it. You know, if the kids acting out, whatever, it's still your story. So do not be ashamed to tell it, because we are all here to help someone, and your story could help someone as well. Even if you didn't um, think it was working out how you thought it would or expected it to, it's still your story, and you're still supposed to learn from it and grow from it and heal from it so that you can help others.
That's good. Your story matters. Your story matters. And that's the whole key. How can we get in touch with you to buy your products and services, or if someone need coaching from you, how can they reach out to you?
Yes, everything is listed on my site. You can go to shalethamarshall.com. That's ShalethaMarshall.com.
Awesome. Everything is there. So you can go
Yes,
there and purchase the journals, the book, and sign up for the master class.
yes, yes.
Awesome, awesome. So I really appreciate you for being here and coming on and sharing your victorious stories with us. What's next for you? Do you have anything coming up that you want to share with us?
Um, The only thing I have coming up now is I work F with Adventure and Victory, and we have a toy drive coming up next month. They do it every year. So for the past, I think, this may be my fourth year. I'm not sure. Um, Fourth year volunteering with them, because during that time in my life, they actually helped me and my daughter. Like, it was to the point where I couldn't buy her gifts. I didn't, even though we don't celebrate Christmas like that, but for a child, they still want gifts to open and things like that. And they were such a blessing to us, just to provide her with a couple of gifts for Christmas. So I give back every year, just serving them and helping families that are in need. So if anyone, single mothers out there that are in need of Christmas gifts that are in the Dallas area, just send me an email. You can send me an email at contact@creativelinkcoaching.com, and I will get your application, and we will help you out.
Beautiful. And what's the name of that organization again?
Adventure and Victory.
Awesome. So you guys, you heard it. You can reach out to Shalitha Marshall at shalithamarshall.com
Yeah.
and check her out. All her information is there. And we'll be back here next week, same time, you guys. And I really appreciate you guys for tuning in, and make sure you share, because you don't know who can get the victory from someone else's story. So talk to you guys later.
Bye.